Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another giant space station, where this one is called the Dockyard-4 The Toolbox, which is this glorious thing that I'm standing on the very front half of. So this is an absolute ginormous space station designed to do multiple things. You can use it to do the usual docking up and refueling. It's also got plenty of defense around here, so you can use it as cover if you say getting overwhelmed by pirates. You can also grind stuff up below the ship on a special dedicated section, and then on the inside you've got all the usual stuff: crew quarters, medical bay, trading centers, and then a few extra stuff they'll see when we go around on foot. It comes with multiple ways to dock up, so you don't have to use this front section that I started inside, although there is plenty of connectors to actually dock yourself all the way up to, and we'll do some maintenance work if that's what we want to do. There's plenty of connection points on the side and on the back, but if you have a very small ship, there are two traditional hangar bays to open up, go inside, and land yourself down on. But like the interior, we'll take a look at that when we go around on foot, but for now, I'm going to press F10 and find it in the spawn menu. So the Dockyard-4 The Toolbox is 5,169 large blocks, although when you spawn it in, it's going to be a little bit smaller. It's just over 4,000, so it is quite similar to what's listed, but it does use one hell of a lot of the DLC packs, which is very much warranted with the way they have been used. Up to here is a nice bit of information about it. Down to here is going to be your features and systems. So we see we've got a bunch of guns on the outside, but if we don't actually utilize them, it does come with a safe zone generator, so you can have this as a proper safe station. Anyway, all the way down to the very bottom, builders note it's got none. And then if you've got any kind of issues with this, if you've got any kind of feedback for the creator, do let them know on the Steam Workshop page. But as for that, we're going to give this thing a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, which I might actually start at the very back for this thing. In fact, we're going to do that, all around towards the very back of this thing. We'll go around the outside, we'll have a tour on foot, and then that'll be that. There is no thrusters on this, so we can't drive it around. I cannot crash this into an asteroid. So, well, that'll be that. And of course, if you are interested, I am using the Elite Dangerous Skybox. There'll be a link in that description below if you are interested, right below this vehicle, or this station even. It's a nice one, but it is very, very dark, so I've got to keep my light on while doing the showcase. So for the very back of the Dockyard-4, this is what we get, where as you can see we've got a bunch of assault cannon turrets to give you a nice bit of defense. Then in the middle we've got two hangar bay doors, there's two on the opposite side, that allow smaller ships to go inside and will land down and be repaired or refueled. We also got some nice neon tubes in the yellow colouring along the bottom there, so in the pitch black you can very easily see where you're meant to fly up to go inside. Moving a bit closer and all the way up, a bunch of windows appear on the inside. The bottom floor is more for your medical bay, crew quarters, and all of that. On the top floor, it's going to be for your bar, your trade center, and your flight ops. Then in the very middle here is your doorway to get in and out. Pull away and moving around onto the side, we see on the top and the bottom one hell of a lot of hydrogen tanks, which are very much exposed. So if you are using, say, a explosive hydrogen tank mod, you may want to use the safe zone generator to make sure the station doesn't just blow up if someone gets a lucky hit onto them. Onto the side here, here's your side docking pads. We've got some nice use of the beam blocks that curve all the way around, pad skin on the very edge, and two connectors in the middle to dock up to, and they have been joined together by some truss blocks right up there. All the way across, this could be where your larger ship's going to fly inside, then connect up to one of those many connectors on the very top there. But we do have spotlights on the side, we do have turrets on the side, which we'll see in just moments, and it's mainly made up of a bunch of grey steel blocks with some green corrugated just breaking it all up. There we are at the very end of our turret. Moving all around, there we are, we've got some interior turrets as well, and this is what we get at the very front of this thing. So it's a nice big area where a nice long ship, nice thin and long ship will be able to fly inside here. If you've got a much more fatter ship, you have to go around the back or onto the side. But as we move all the way along, this is what we get. So on the side we've got lots and lots of spotlights. On the top we also have even more spotlights, where I was starting with, and as you can clearly see, we've got a bunch of catwalks with railings, so you can walk all the way along to this, get a good view of what's going on with the ship docked up to. And as we have to move all the way towards the main body of this thing, we're going to be able to go on the inside. So we once again got two more hangar bay doors, and once again got neon tubes in yellow colouring to once again show you where it is if it is pitch black. Anyway, up to there we've got some more hazard skin. All the way up to here we've got some more windows appear inside, more green corrugated skin, and of course there's the size of our hydrogen tanks, which we saw on the very side and from the very back. Moving down, turning my lights, moving across, so we see our conveyor going all the way across below that catwalk. That's where I'm standing from the very start, and all the way across once again. And there we are at the very front with our two turrets, and of course our two interior turrets as well. Onto this side, briefly scooting across, There we are. There's your side doggy pads for this side. Moving all the way up, looking down. So start on the very back, spinning my camera all the way around. And that's all we can see. So we see our hydrogen tanks in a lovely colourful scheme of blue, red, then yellow. Into the middle here, we then see some nice decoration on top of the building with some more beam blocks. Then in the very middle, the centerpiece of this thing, we've got our compact antenna, fantastic use for the truss blocks. Then we've got spotlights spinning around with another compact antenna sitting on top of that truss block. Onto the side here, we then got our truss decoys. In the middle here, a laser antenna. Moving onto the side so we get a better look at what's going on. Turning off my lights. And there we are, how the decoys have been set up towards the front. And there we are. And of course, going along towards the front here, on the very top of our weird little skeletal rib cage where your ship could be flying inside. Once again, a conveyor coming all the way across, connecting up to each of those connectors, running along the top, and scooting all the way across. And there we are with the very ends. And then finally coming all the way down underneath this thing. So unlike the top, we do have a gap to fly all the way down if we need to do that. And each of the very sides have been covered up by some arm panels in a hazard skin. Moving all the way across, there's a very clear view of our spotlights along the top, as well as the connectors right next to them. Then very slowly we move along towards the main building. There we are. Zooming away, putting on my light, and there's the bottom hydrogen tanks, and here's your grinding pit. So yes, for whatever reason, if you do say collect up a wreckage on your adventure, using a magnet plate on a piston while you just yoinked, and now you want to get resources from, you now just fly it and press it up against this, grind it all up, and have all the resources deposited to the station to collect up later. Moving up and looking on the sides. There we are. So yes, the station is a Swift Army knife, which is jolly good stuff. With that, that's it for the outside of the Dockyard-4. It looks bloody fantastic with how it's been set up. A lot of stuff going on the outside. Absolutely love this ribcage section at the front here, especially with all the lights shining down, especially with this darker skybox. It looks absolutely magnificent. Able to change it to nighttime or just move the sunlight away. There we are, then come around towards the front once again. That's how it's been lit up. It's just how nice of an effect those spotlights create. But anyway, bring the sunlight back around once again. That'll do quite nicely. Now it's time to go on the inside. So grab and hold my character. And we've got to come around towards the very back there, because that is the main door to get in and out of this thing. So all the way around, landing myself down, opening up, double door for an airlock, and it is scripted up with the simple door script. And well, here we are. But before we go in the doors on the left and right hand side, got to check out this LCD screen. So I wish more ships would actually do this thing where you immediately enter the ship. This tells you where you're going, what there is, and what there is further into the ship. So we see it acts as an actual proper map, where the airlock down here is where we just came in. Then we've got medical bay and the crew quarters, which would be there and there. Then we've got the mess hall and the system access would be there and there. Then if we go all the way up the steps, we can get the flight ops, the bar, the common room, and then the trade. But before we do any of that, we're going to ignore that, come all the way down this section right here. So past the broadcast controller, all the way down these, down to the bottom, then we've got our left and right. This is what's going to take us to our hangar bays on both sides, and this is what the hangar bay looks like on the inside. So there's the door for the back, there's the door for the front. Mine got them mixed up. Here we come all the way down into the corner. And there we are. Pet the engineer. That's what we get. So like I said, a small ship, like a small fighter, small mining ship, small exploration ship, will be perfect for landing down inside here. In the floor, we've got a large connector and a small connector. Catwalks line the room, looking all the way up. Light panels in a reddish glow, so it's not overbearingly bright. They've got a bunch of catwalks just adding some nice decoration. Here's what steps go all the way up to a cargo terminal, right up there. So you've got to pull resources out manually to repair it up. That's how you do it. Then onto this side, here's your bum panel. We can now press this to decompress the area or to recompress the area. And now beat the master controls to open up the hangar bays, and it will affect both sides. So then now open all the way up, we see the glorious spotlights at the very front. Here we are. And then at the very back. There we go with that. See, so we can fly all the way straight through if you want to do that. Or well, just use this as a bit of protection from any kind of pirates trying to get you. Closing that up, all the way up these steps, to the opposite side. And there we are with the other hangar bay. Don't really need to go through this section because it is identical. So now all we've got to do is come back out this ladder, then go through each of the rooms, and then that's it for this station. So all the way up to here, ignoring that step, into here, and here we go with the medical bay. There's your scanning machine, your corner medical bay block, your lab table, then a bunch of other lab tables showing different types of experiments, and of course all the other lab stuff in the latest DLC pack. Walking across there, we are, around the room, That's all we get on this side. Then moving across, we're going to come to the crew quarters, so through here, there we are, table and chairs, beds lining the room, armory locker, onto that side, shower and toilet, there's a little desk to do your research on, another bed, in the ceiling, there's an air vent which will be connected on the floor above, so we just about make out the trade floor, right above that. Then looking around here, there we are with this room, coming out, moving across, this will then take us to our mess hall, so through this section, into here, and there we are, so we've got ourselves our little table and chair once again, there's your little counter block, there's a bunch of your kitchen blocks, and then that's it for this room. To the opposite side, and this will be our system access room. So as we see, we've got ourselves our console desk there, another cargo terminal, into here your proper desk block with a program block right behind it. That program block has got nothing going on with it. The actual proper terminal will be upstairs. Looking around here, not too much is going on. So that's that for this room. So now we're going to come all the way up these steps. Here we go. And that's actually quite smooth. Before, when I was actually testing this out, I kept getting stuck on it. I thought it was fat shaming me for a second, but no, we now walk all the way up. And here we are on the next floor. So what we've got on this side is going to be our flight ops and then our bar. So into this section, here's our bar with a lovely purple glow from our inset light. Here's your little kitchen counter once again with our clan cola and cosmic coffee. Then lining the room, got plenty of chairs to sit on and view out the windows so all the shit coming in and docking up, being repaired. Then over here is where you're going to order your drinks with your vending machines right behind it. Into the corner, there we go. And to the opposite side, will then be our flight ops. So into here is going to be your master control terminal, as well as a programmable block to control these simple doors. There we go. Then two more programmable blocks with nothing going on with it. So you put whatever you want to have on there, depending on what you want to have. Yes, there's your air vents, control desks around the room, butter panels, control the lights, which are going to be one all the way out there, so scooting up a little bit. In fact, we're going to be better off being on the floor. And there we go, we turn it on and off. Turn off these ones, which would be your searchlights on these sides. And then for your turrets, on and off. So there we go. As for that, that's it for this room. So in the corner, looking around. Now we move across to the final two rooms. So into this one, on the left and right hand side, it's going to be our common room and then our trade room. So into this one, here we go with our trade room. Here's the event from before, and then there's the floor right below it. We've got our store, we've then got our contract vendor, and into here's your ATM to store your precious money. And then there's a little desk on here, which does have a chessboard all fully set up. I absolutely love this thing. I've never seen anything like this before, with the free camera coming all the way up to it. Oh god, that's a little bit sensitive there, not sure what's going on with that. Here we go, so we see each of the individual pieces. There's your pawns all lining in front, we have a single symmetrical column. There's your king, there's your queen, all the other blocks. Sadly, you can't actually play this thing, it's just purely there for some decoration. It would be great if you could find a way to actually play this thing, but I suppose there would be a bit demanding of both space engineers and the projector system. But no, hopping out of that, into the corner. And there we are with this room. And then finally, all the way across to here, this will be our common room. So into this section, a bunch of chairs lining the room. Got another little bed, locker, inset light in the ceiling, planter, some crates, another shower, another toilet, and another desk to sit on, and a view outside, and a hydrant tanks. And with that, that's it for the inside of the station, that's it for the outside, that's it for all we can do with this station. So that's that for this video, and I will be linking to its description below to download and play around yourself, which I highly recommend doing because it's a bloody glorious looking station, a lot of stuff going on with it, and a lot of thought has been put onto the inside of how it's been set up, and all the little bits and pieces of decoration like the chessboards. It's just a nice touch to actually go and view, and I highly recommend just going and looking at it yourself. Just like I said, I'll be linked to its description below if you are interested in downloading and playing around it yourself. I highly recommend you do, as well as links to the Skybox I'm currently using, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.